Welcome back to the Open Wheel Offline League Season 4. We are now at round 10, so we are halfway into the season, and we have an interesting starting lineup to get through and a little bit of a start procedure change, but we'll get to that in just a second. But starting at the tail end of the field is the number 11 of Louis Foster. He's going to be starting at the back, and he is your points leader. Leads by 10 over the car in front of him, the 43 of Shane Van Gisbergen. So it's going to be interesting to see if these guys can cut their way through the field. But they are starting deep in the field today. In row 11 on the outside is the 54 of Mahavir Raghunathan, not having as good of a qualifying effort that he had in Detroit, but another bad qualifying effort for Connor Zilich will have him starting deep in the field. Not looking good for his new sponsor, Mobile One, on the car. Then we go to row 10, the 29 of Benjamin Peterson. Had what looked to be a good run at Detroit before an issue midway through the race. See if he can stay out of trouble today. And then right in front of him is the 95 of Ethan Martz, still looking for a top 10 finish this season. Then we go to row 9. Marcus Armstrong started second, threw it into the wall at Detroit, and is going to be starting deep in the field today, so not as good of luck it seems, but maybe he'll be able to move forward. Just in front of him will be the 12 of Miles Rowe back in row 9, coming off his first career podium at Detroit. And just in front of him is his teammate Yuki Tsunoda, who had a good points day at Detroit, but will start deep in the field. And he's alongside Robbie Lohr for the third time in a row. Will be starting all the way back in row 8 in that number 30 car. Then we have the 07 of Catherine Leggs starting in row 7 on the outside, so 14th place. Pretty deep in the field. And then alongside Brennan Hubbard, who had his strongest run up to this point. Now we get into your top 12. The 47 of Lindsay Brewer coming off her second career win in the 47 car. Looking pretty good, but right in front of her, the 87 of Alessio Deletta does not have a top 10 yet this season. All three Banshees of Little Miami cars, by the way, have gotten a contract extension, so all three will return to the team next season. 77 of Stingray Robb, all the way down in 22nd in points, but his qualifying pace has been pretty decent these last few races, but needs a little bit of help. The new paint for the 90 for Guy Gagné. He's going to be starting back in 9th place, best of the Viking racing cars. Then in 8th on the hard tires is the 25 of David Malukas for Masters of Motors, starting deep, but not too deep. But he'd like to get back into the top 10 in points. 7th, Globler Lore has also been doing very well in qualifying. This is, I believe, Indy, Detroit, and today, starting around 7th and 8th, so he's been getting better at qualifying. Jacob Abel having one of his best qualifying efforts in 6th. He is on the medium tires, also on the medium tires. The 24 of Chet Jordan making the fast 6 once again, and his teammate Gail Barnhart will be just in front of him, so looking good for Silly Men Racing. As we get to the top 3, we have the 18 of Callum Ilott, the first car on those soft tires for 18 Aggressive Bees. Gonna have to see if he is able to make them last. As in second is the 03 of Dorian Pinn, who's probably not going to be very happy at Team Eggs after Jacob Abel held her up and prevented her from going for pole. It's Ryan Preece. Gets his fifth pole of the season. So, starting lineup, scrolling across the top. We're doing a little bit of a different start procedure. We're still experimenting. We're just going to do a single file race start. So, unfortunately, there won't be as much action into turn 1, but granted, there wouldn't be much action going into turn 1 at Mid-Ohio. And we're going to have to see, this is to prevent lanes not going on starts and some early pit stops that weren't supposed to happen. So your weather taking place late June, 2 p.m. Virtually no wind, 77 degrees, track temp 106. There were a lot of issues looking for grip in qualifying, but maybe those have been sorted out. So the first two cars on the mediums, a lot of the cars on the mediums, Callum Ilott, the first one on the softs, and then I think you have to go, Glubler is on the softs. I think David Malukas may be your first one on the hards. Yes, he is. But he is down in 8th, so we are going to go this time. It's going to be a single file start as Ryan Preece, 5th pole of the season, 10th career pole for Team Eggs, and 10th career pole for him as he leads us to green at Mid-Ohio. He gets away well, but not too well as they go down into turn 2. 0-3 of Dorian Pin all over the back of him as we go back through the field, looking pretty solid. No big pushes. Mahavir Raghunathan has dropped to last, so Shane Van Gisbergen already trying to move forward at the back of the grid as the 43 now gets by the 9 of Connor Zilic, so they're moving at the back of the field as the 18 of Callum Ilott tries to look around the 0-3 of Dorian Pin, but not able to get there. Your points leader, Louis Foster, all the way down in 23rd, needs to look to move forward. So far, the 43, the best start, moving up a couple spots as a 0.7 second lead over Dorian Pin now setting in. There's your track map, so you can see where everyone is. Gail Barnhart getting chased by teammate Chet Jordan, looking for 4th. As the 12 of Miles Rowe kind of holding up this group. As Callum Ilott looking at Dorian Pin once again, going to go down the inside and is going to get the position. The soft tires being a strong advantage for the number 18 so far, but he's going to really need to make sure that he can make those last. Gail Barnhart over Chet Jordan. Right now, Alessio Deletta trying to get his first top 10, currently sitting in 11th. Shane Van Gisbergen not moving forward. Louis Foster not moving forward. Connor Zilic not moving forward. As the 18 of Callum Ilott still has the 0-3 fresh on his tail. Is down into turn 5. The 18 getting chased. Not getting away from the 0-3 like he wished he would. As we have a battle back here. These guys stepping over each other's toes. Shane Van Gisbergen going side by side with Connor Zilic. They are still side by side. Both of these two need to desperately work through the field. But right now, if they're battling each other, that is only going to slow them down. As the 11 now looking at his teammate. Callum Ilott now within a second of Ryan Preece. As David Malukas getting chased by Guy Gagné, who's going to look at the outside before tucking back into line. Right now, all the tires are quite fresh. You'll see a lot more movement once we get to the end of the stint, as right now a lot of following in line don't want to make any early mistakes. But if you're going to make a mistake, you'd rather do it now than later. As you have a battle between Benjamin Peterson and Marcus Armstrong. This is for 18th. as Armstrong's going to get to the inside. And he will hold the position. As the 25 of David Malukas is in early, he is on the hards. So I'm not sure why he has come in now, but Marcus Armstrong coming in as well. No penalties. So this may just be an early stop, but for some reason they are both on the hards. As he has switched to the softs, that is interesting. As the 64 of Ryan Preece has gone off track, he has, I believe, spun himself around. Yes, he just lost it in the keyhole. All by himself with little pressure. As that is going to give Callum Ilott the lead. And Ryan Preece desperately needs to focus. As Jacob Abel has now spun around. He has spun in the carousel. As Miles Rowe is also in pit lane. And he is on the hards as well, so the hards not being preferred right now. As a battle for the lead going down into turn 5. Callum Ilott on the softs as Dorian Pinn's going to go the long way around. Both looking for their first win this season. Callum Ilott going to get onto the marbles, and that's going to allow the 0-3 to get by. Right now, the 75 and the 64, both for Team Eggs, now at the back of the field. Just can't let that happen. Then the cars at pit now also trailing. So some early issues just 6 laps into the race. The 18 of Callum Ilott still trying to chase the 0-3. So already 3 different leaders. 2 lead changes. Gonna get a little bit of a run here, but I don't think he's gonna be able to get the position back unless he sends it. And he's gonna try to go around the outside. That is bold move on the soft tires, but I think he's gonna get the position. Yes, he'll take it back. But the lead goes back to the number 18. 18 Aggressive Bees looking at their first victory. If he can hold on to this. Still gonna have the 0-3 right behind him. Let's go on board. Thinks about making a move. Callum Ilott sliding, holds on to it. Nearly looped it. That is going to allow Pin to get a run. But just not enough room. As Connor Zilich has moved around Benjamin Peterson, he's starting to move his way through the field. He is up to 14th. So the 9 moving forward. As Catherine Legg gets by Brennan Hubbard, nearly pushes him backwards. And the Team Eggs cars battling after both have spawned. The 2 spinners so far. Ryan Preece will get the position. As the 47 of Lindsay Brewer has gone off track. She is on the curb, but she will get back going. But those soft tires might be a little cooked at this point. As Gale Barnhart has now spun himself. And that's not good. As he'll lose some positions, but we have a battle for first as Ched Jordan has joined the battle. The So now it's a three-way battle for first. As Gale Barnhart is still falling down the order. He was not able to recover as quickly as the 47, as he is still paused there. Gonna try to reverse it. As no, he is not going to be able to, and that will be a yellow. So yellow flag for Gale Barnhart. As the 12 has also found some issues, I believe. Yeah, he has spun in the same corner. So the 42, let's try to go back and see what exactly, did he just overcook it? So running in fourth at the time, his teammate Chet Jordan has already gone by. And just way too deep into the turn. And then he can't get it back going, so we are now under our first caution of the day. As the 12 has also gone off course. He was not able to get it restarted, and he was all by himself. So Miles Rowe and Gale Barnhart already in trouble. Right now, your top 10, Callum Ilott, Dorian Pinn, Chet Jordan, Globler Lord, Guy Gagne, Stingray Rob, Alessio Deletta, Catherine Legg, Brennan Hubbard, and Robbie Lohr. I would not be surprised if you see some pit stops here, and this may help out your guys that have already pit, like David Malukas and Marcus Armstrong. So they may cycle to the front, but they also pit really early, so I wouldn't be surprised if they have to pit again. So already some early issues. Connor Zilic has worked his way up to 12th. Barnhart is going to try to get back going. He will be one lap down though. As no, he went to the pits, but then they took him to the garage, so not quite sure what that was about, but his day is over. As none of the leaders are taking it, but back here, Ethan March, Shane Van Gisbergen, Louis Foster, Mahavir Raghunathan, Ryan Priest, Jacob Abel, David Malukas, and Marcus Armstrong again have come in. So we're going to have to see who's going to win this race off pit road and how will this affect the running. As Van Gisbergen is going to beat Martz out. So Van Gisbergen, Martz, Foster, Raghunathan, and Priest, your top 5. As this is going to be a double file restart. So we'll have to see if both lanes are able to go. Now into the S's section. As Miles Rowe is actually able to get back going. So I don't know why Gale Barnhart wasn't able to, but Miles Rowe will be one lap down. And a considerable amount behind the field. But he is still in this. Will both lanes get going? Right now they look formed up pretty well. Callum Ilott going to lead us back to green. He has not made a pit stop today. We're going to have to see how that affects things. You have some cars that have and some that haven't. But they're going to accelerate both lanes at the same time. And Callum Ilott is able to get away. Chet Jordan is side by side with Dorian Pin. Up the inside, not able to get there. Dorian Pin will stay in second. Stingray Rob battling Alessio Deletta, who's now up to 6 and could be on for his best finish. Dorian Pin chasing down Callum Ilott. Gonna be within a 10th, but Ilott gonna defend. Chet Jordan looking up the inside, but doesn't quite go for it. Guy Gagne sitting in 4th, also looking at a good result, as Jordan goes a little wide. And that lets the 90 have a shot to get by. He's almost able to hang on to it. This is a good side-by-side battle. And he's going to get it. So with one mistake from Chet Jordan, he drops back to 4th and out of the podium as Guy Gagne spins himself out. On the gas too hard, and he's going to spin as Callum Ilott pits now. So doesn't pit under the yellow, pits now, and will forfeit the lead. As that is an interesting strategy. I wouldn't be surprised if he goes to the hards and tries to finish us out. So he probably thinks that the 43 can't get to the end, who is the leader on the second strategy, as he's trying to go around Lindsey Brewer for 11th. Not quite able to go up the inside, as the 07 now has had some issues at the top of the hill. We saw the 24 get a little loose there. He's going to get back going, so a few mistakes happening throughout the field and shuffling up the order. Alessio Deletta in 4th as Glubler goes around, and he's going to go around in the carousel. So that is another car that has lost it, and he is on the soft tires, so he's right in the middle of the track. He's going to have to wait for all of these cars to go by, including the 18 of Callum Ilott. So he's finally going to go now, but he just lost a lot of time. Ryan Preece trying to move up through the field, battling David Malukas, who pit earlier. Both of these cars pit, so they're on the same strategy. Some attrition playing out, and this could provide Alessio Deletta with his first podium of the season. As if he can hang on to it, Dorian Pin, 2.5 second lead over Chet Jordan. Deletta 3rd, Rob 4th, Hubbard looking for another top 5. But none of these guys have pit. The first one that has, Shane Van Gisbergen, back in 9th. But he is on the soft tires, and I don't know if he's going to be able to make that last for 25 laps. And that could be an interesting factor in it all. Here comes the 30 up the inside of the 99. Nearly able to get there. But that is going to allow Connor Zilic to have an opportunity as Brennan Hubbard chasing down Stingray. Zilic, I don't think he pit. No, he has not, so Van Gisbergen is the first ones of those who have pit, followed by, I believe, Ethan Martin, the 95, as Foster way up the inside of David Malukas to get into 13th. He is moving through the field fast right now. 3 seconds is the gap between Dorian Pin and Chet Jordan. You also have to watch the gap between Pin and Van Gisbergen. Currently 11 seconds, but he is in some traffic. The 07 has had another issue, this time in the gravel pit, and she's going to have to wait for the 00 and the 12 to get by. Glubler has not pit. I think he's trying to make it to halfway, as the 07 has still not gone, actually. So she may be stuck, which may cause another yellow. She has still not moved. So Catherine Leggs sitting as the 07 and the 47 has gone off, so has in the 77 pits. But this is under. We're have to throw the yellow. So the yellow for Catherine Legg, and Stingray Rob may have entered the pits just in time. Lindsay Brewer also in pit lane, but did she make it to the pits in time? I think she did, but you can see those tires are not in good shape. She is on the soft tires. As Stingray is going back out, as Miles Rowe might have had a little bit of an issue, but he should get his lap back, being the lucky dog. As the 00 of Glubler, he is in the tire barrier and he is gonna have to get out, so a lot of cars having issues now. But the field will be brought back together, led by the 03. So this would probably, since this is halfway in the race, you're gonna see a lot of cars coming in for pit stops now. We're gonna have to see who moves to the front. Top 10 as it stands: Dorian Pinn, Chet Jordan, Alessio Deletta, Brennan Hubbard, Connor Zilich, Robbie Lord, Yuki Tsunoda, Shane Van Gisbergen, Benjamin Peterson, and Ethan Martz rounds out the field, or just the top 10. Ethan Martz and Alessio Deletta both looking at what could be their first top 10s of the season. As the 07 looks to be done for the day. But the 00 of Glubler, he's going to go back out, so one more yellow and he might be able to get back onto the lead lap. But Miles Rowe should get the lucky dog this time. Points leader Louis Foster sits back in 11th. But Shane Van Gisbergen, who's second in the championship, not far in front. Yuki Tsunoda is also pretty high in points. Some interesting. The field is pretty interesting right now, how it's spread out. As will anyone pit? No. A lot of the cars that haven't pit are deciding not to. Guy Gagne is the first one to enter pit lane. Lindsay Brewer entering the pit lane again. I don't quite get that, because that means these guys are going to have to pit again. So maybe the 03 is looking at trying to extend her lead. So I think the 12 may actually not get a wave around because he went off track during the yellow. The one lap to green. It's the 03 leading the 24 as the field shaking up into some interesting positions. We're going to have to see who goes for it on this restart. O3 of Dorian Pin trying to go as long as she can on the tires to build a gap on the cars that have pit. Into Thunder Valley as we get ready to restart. 16 laps to go. Over halfway into the race. Dorian Pin looked strong in front of the 24, but will she be able to make it to the end? I don't think she will. She's going to have to pit once, I'd assume. Into the carousel. We get ready to roll again. Green flag is back out, and that is a good restart for the O3, as the 24 of Chad Jordan going to be back here with Alessio Deletta, but they will slot into line. Connor Zilic trying to go up the inside of his teammate, Brennan Hubbard. Looking for fourth. Yuki Tsunoda had a good restart, jumps to sixth. Zilic and Hubbard still side by side. The 9 needs the points and is battling side by side with his teammate, but he's going to have to back out of it as Van Gisbergen side by side with Peterson for 8th. As the 99 goes a little bit offline, and that may provide the 9 a way to go around, but not quite. Chad Jordan still within half a second of Dorian Pin. Alessio Deletta has fallen backwards as Malukas goes back by Foster, so Foster down in 12th. 43 did not move forward on the restart. As the 43 pits now. So he was not able to make it to the end, and he's just going to go in now. He is on the soft tires, so that throws away that strategy, and this may be another bad result for Van Gisbergen. And same with Louis Foster. The inconsistency on this team has really been hurting them, and it may continue to stay that way. As this goes back in the favor of Dorian Pin and Chet Jordan. Maybe Callum Ilott could still get away with this, but there's also some of these other cars at a pit. As Yuki Tsunoda battles Connor Zilic. Tsunoda elbows out, but not able to get the position. Zilic will stay in 5th. As these two just pit together. This is the top 3 in the championship, all right here. I don't believe Robbie had pit before, so him pitting makes a little bit of sense. But right now, the best car that has pit is the 25 of David Malukas on the medium tires. Then it's Priest, who is on softs, I believe, so he may not be able to make it to the end on 25 laps. But he's trying to go around Malukas, looking for it. Ethan Marson, 3rd, basically. So the 95 looking to have his best race of the season right now. As the 64 gonna try and go around the outside, can't quite get there. The tight battle. Jacob Abel has also pit, so he could be looking at a good result. Marcus Armstrong, Callum Ilott looking at what could be a top 5. I don't know if the 54, I don't remember the last time Raghunathan has pit. Jet Jordan still within a second. Oh, hold on to it. Nearly went sideways, and that is not a turn you want to go sideways in. As the 64 has spun again. trying to battle the 25 of David Malukas and lost it once again. That is his second spin of the race, and that is going to throw him out of it. He's on the soft tires, so I don't think he was making it to the end anyways. But that is tough to see. David Malukas looking pretty solid right now. Just fell out of the top 10 in points. So a win today would be massive for the team. As these three, Robbie is definitely the slowest of the three right now. And he's holding up the other two. They can't push forward. 8.3 seconds between Pin and Malukas, down in 8th, but could very well be the lead. Jacob Abel has also pit, so he's looking at what could be his first podium. As right now he's trying to track down the 95. Not quite able to get there. That is some good braking on the 95. But Jacob Abel is on the soft, so I don't know if he'll be able to make it all the way. As you have some side-by-side racing, Callum Ilott and Marcus Armstrong. And right behind Stingray Robin, Guy Gagne. Also Brennan Hubbard did get by Alessio Deletta for third. So right now Hubbard's looking at a podium. So this could all be for the true top 5 as the 87 enters the pit lane. So Deletta in for his final stop, as I believe the 54 Mahavir Raghunathan has gone off track, but he has gone back going again. He is on the soft tires. Armstrong, what is he on? He's on the mediums, so he might be able to make it. Callum Ilott should be able to make it. Priest is back in again, I think. No, he is spun in pit lane. This could cause a yellow if he is not able to get back going. Priest blocking pit road right now. Still trying to get it back going. As no, he is stuck, and that is going to be a yellow. And that may destroy Dorian Pin's race. And everyone that has pit has just gotten a huge benefit. So let's see. Did he just come in too hot? Yes, he did, and just spun it on pit entry. Those soft tires were already struggling. So this could be the day for David Malukas, but he's going to have to hope that the cars in front of him have to pit, which I assume they do. Ethan Martz looking at what could be a second place. Jacob Abel, I assume, is going to need to pit. Ryan Priest, quick toe to pit lane. Is going to be another disappointing result, as no, he is out of the race. So that is 3 cars confirmed out, the 64, the 07, and the 42. Yet another DNF for Ryan Priest. Gonna be tight battles all the way to the end of this race. Gonna be basically a sprint. The top 6 all have not pit throughout this race. 75 is on soft tires, so I don't know if he's going to be able to make it to the end. 25, if he comes in, I think the team is going to need to reflect. A deep reflection. So will the 03 have to pit, or is she good to the end? But even then, that's not saying that she could just come in immediately, as no, she's going to skip pit lane. So she could be good to the end. As I believe Louis Foster will also pit. So he's going to be at the back of the field, but Dorian Pin is not pitting. Now, I believe Miles Rowe should be getting a wave around, possibly. Maybe. So we gotta try to wait for him to get around before we give the one to green. So Lucky Dog, he's going to be back on the lead lap down in 20th. So we might be going back green with 7 to go, perhaps, to try to give him a chance to catch back up to the field. So he has gotten by everyone, but we'll give him some time to catch up. So we're going to have one extra lap of yellow. We're going to go green with 7 to go. And you have 6 cars that have not needed to make a pit stop and are in very good position. But can they make it to the end? All on medium tires, I believe. I don't know if the medium was just the secret sauce or what. Miles Rowe gonna come into pit lane, so going green this time. This will be a single file, I believe. Yes, this will be a single file restart. So Chet Jordan looking at a second place right here, but could be going for his 3rd career win if he stays with the 03, and that's assuming they don't have to pit at the end here. So 20 cars still on the lead lap, 3 cars out of the race, including Ryan Preece, pole sitter. So once again, that is another start from pole, but finish nowhere. He's going to fall pretty far down in points. Ethan Martz looking at his first top 10. Alessio Deletta was looking at his first top 10, but those dreams have seemed to go away as he pit right before the yellow. Brennan Hubbard looking at his first podium. Be pretty big for the 99 team. Could seriously help Brennan Hubbard towards the Rookie of the Year. We will get ready to go this time. 7 laps to go. As here we go through the carousel. And up through the gears, Dorian Pin gets away well. Chet Jordan is going to try to stay with 3/10 back. as big restart for Miles Rowe. He's already up to 17th. But Chet Jordan, he's going to be back by 2/10. And he may have a look at it. Trying to go around the long way. Side by side for the lead. Pin on the has to go the long way around, but going to have the preferred lane here. But Chet Jordan's going to get the lead with 7 laps to go. As no, they have to pit. They could not make it, and they will pit now and lose all that track position. So Chet Jordan was looking at what could have been a win, but now is out of the picture. And David Malukas leads the race. Ethan Martz right now looking at a second place, but I wasn't sure if these guys were going to be able to make it, but they don't pit under green, and they're going to fall down the order. The 95 defending incredibly well right now over the 75. Looking at his first podium since Rockingham. A 3-second lead for David Malukas over Ethan Martz. And as right now he is defending very well over the 75. As there goes the 33, nearly loses it, but hangs on to it. As the 75 is struggling with his tires. That is allowing the 95 to get away just a little bit. Six tenths over second place. David Malukas controlling the race. Nice and smooth, don't make any mistakes. The 95 still leads, but the 18 of Kalamaiwa wants another podium. Can't quite get there. The 33 tries making a move for it. That 75 not able to get by on those soft tires, which he has been on for a very long time. So credit to Jacob Abel for making them last as long as he has been able to. Also back here, Dorian Pinn did get back by Chet Jordan, but unfortunately that is only for 15th and no longer the lead. So 3 laps to go here at Mid-Ohio. The 18 tries looking for it around the 75, but can't quite get there. As back here, the 29 of Benjamin Peterson is in the grass all by himself. As this battle for third continues on. The 29 has spun again, and this time is in the middle of the track. If he does not get back going, this could be the yellow as Jacob Abel pits now, but the 29 is not going as he finally gets back going. So no yellow will need to be thrown. So we're going to have to see if the 18 has enough time to track down the 95 of Ethan Martz, as the 75 of Jacob Abel left them behind by a good amount. 33 still all over the back of the 18. Kalamailot looking for another podium. Back here, Louis Foster has gotten by Shane Van Gisbergen. Could be important, but they are deep in the field as the 25 spins. The 25 of David Malukas spins from first, and that is going to allow the 95 to get by. Late in the race, the 25 throws it away. White flag, a yellow flag cannot be thrown now, but Callum Ilott has closed in, and he is all over the back of the 95. Could it be happening again, where he gets beat at the end? This is really his best shot. If he doesn't get this now, he is not getting it at all. He's going to try and go for it, but it's not there. So the 95 of Ethan Martz, who is last in points, is looking at the race win. Smooth and steady, as I cannot believe this. A complete underdog story. Start from 19th and win the race. 2 turns to go. But it is going to be Ethan Martz in the 95 who wins at Mid-Ohio. Callum Ilott once again settles for second, as third is Marcus Armstrong. And at the end, the 99 spins out. As I genuinely, the most underdog win that could happen. Last in points, wins the race. David Malukas will finish down in 17th after what looked like a surefire win. He throws it away at the end. That is also going to be first top 10 of the season for Ethan Martz and Alessio Deletta. So, in a very chaotic race to the end, this is your final results. Ethan Martz takes the win, 2 tenths over Callum Ilott, half a second over Marcus Armstrong. Genuinely, some very interesting results. A lot of people at the back of the points got good results today, as all your good drivers had issues. But Callum Ilott, that's going to put him in a good spot championship-wise, as he is now becoming a legitimate contender. Guy Gagne will finish 4th. Stingray Robb gets a second top 5, finishing in 5th. Lindsey Brewer will be 6th, Mahavir Raghunathan 7th. Robbie Lord will be back in the top 10 and will take 8th. 9th will be Miles Rowe. And then 10th, Alessio Deletta, his first top 10. So Miles Rowe, on the final restart, was in 20th and moved up to 9th. Even before then, he was making a lot of passes. Um, Louis Foster will just miss out on the top 10 in 11th. Shane Van Gisbergen will finish 12th. Dorian Pinn 13th, so Swindlers of the Immortals 11th through 13th. Chet Jordan will take 14th. Connor Zilic 15th. Yuki Tsunoda 16th. David Malukas, that one has gonna sting for him. Looked like a win. Only one more lap to go and spins out into carousel. He'll finish down in 17th. 18th is Jacob Abel. 19th, Brennan Hubbard. 20th, Benjamin Peterson. Then your cars that finish laps down. Glubler down in 21st. Ryan Preece in 22nd. Catherine Legg in 23rd. And then Gail Barnhart all the way down in last. So that is it from Mid-Ohio. Another chaotic race. A lot more finishers, but still very chaotic. Up next, we return to the oval as we go to Iowa, the shortest track on the schedule, and that will be qualifying on Tuesday and then race on Wednesday.